Hey folks, welcome back, or of course, welcome to Lone Pine Tarot if this is your first visit here. Either way, thank you so much for choosing to join me for our pick a card reading today, and I'm very happy to announce that we're doing what I call a positivity boost reading, aka something that you should leave with a smile on your face after you're done watching. And of course, as you can tell by the title you clicked on, you already know, this positivity boost reading is all about the next big blessing that is coming your way. So without further ado, let us choose our pile leaders to pick the messages with, calling on spirit for the highest best good of all who are watching in our community, asking about the next big blessing coming into their life. Could you please guide us to the right cards for their pile leaders? Thank you. Okay, we have a nice shuffle there. And let's see where to begin the draw. Feeling this one right here. So, pile number one, your card today is, we have, very golden and yellow. We have, I believe it's pronounced Asphodel with the number 30. Very warm and sunny colors for your pile leader. For pile number two, your pile leader today is, we're upside down. Also gorgeous, we have cherry with seeming cherry blossoms. And the number on that card, if you're interested in picking by number, is 7. And last but not least, for a wonderful pile number 3, your leader today is also very beautiful. We have the ivy with number 35. Lots of pink and or gold colors today. Very fitting for a blessing reading. So, quick refresher, pile 1, you were Asphodel, number 30. Pile 2, you are cherry, number 7. And pile 3, you are ivy, number 35. Though, as I always say, you're 100% welcome to pause on this part of the video if you need more time to decide what pile is calling to you most. If you're new to pick a card readings and you're like, Lone Pine, what do I do? How do I pick? I have 2 main methods I like to recommend. Number 1, meditate a little bit, close your eyes, ask your spirit guides, can you guide me to the right pile leader? Maybe you'll even get the name of one of these plants / trees / flowers in your mind as you're asking them. Or my other favorite method is just close your eyes and say, spirit guides, give me a number 1 through 3, and then pick your pile based on that number. But whatever method is most calling to you, whatever you like to do, it's up to you. When you're ready, drop down to the description box below, find the timestamp for your pile, and I will see you in our exciting little chat about the next big blessing that is coming your way. See you in your reading, everyone. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 1. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about the next big blessing coming in your life soon. And of course, as you recall, your pile leader today was the gorgeous Asphodel number 30. So, as we always do with pile leaders, I'm going to set it over here to the left to begin. And let's begin your reading by drawing your other cards. So, of course, calling on spirit once again for the highest best good of pile 1 today. Please tell us a little bit more about the blessing coming their way. Okay. And I'm feeling drawn to this part of the deck, so we'll draw from here. Beautiful. There's your tarot spread. And then we have 3 other oracle decks to choose from today. So Wild Harmonic is first. Okay, I'm going to draw this one. That one seems to be calling. And the main thing, pile number 1, that stood out to me when I was meditating on your Asphodel card before recording was, if I remember correctly, Asphodel is associated with Greek mythology, I think with like one of the 3 different places you can go into the afterlife in Greek mythology. And I think if I recall correctly, Asphodel, or like the fields of Asphodel, were the place that ordinary souls tended to go. So there was like 3 different places. There were like, I mean, quote unquote bad souls, and then there were like, I think Elysium was the place of when people were super heroic or they had really great deeds, and then between you had the fields of Asphodel. The reason why I bring that up is because I feel like this blessing is coming out of something that seems ordinary. That was the intuitive sense I was getting when I was meditating on it. So I think this blessing might really come out of left field for you because of that association. Or it could also be something that's like from a long time ago cropping up again, or a dream you had a long time ago cropping up again, or you thought it would just never come to pass, because Asphodel also is symbolic of remembrance or things from the long past. I would not be shocked if you get like the 6 of Cups with your tarot spread. So actually, speaking of, let's look at your tarot cards first, because it's that sensation of nostalgia or something from a long time ago. So we have the 2 of Pentacles reversed, a lot of earth energy to begin. Something out of balance. Then we have the Ace of Swords reversed as your second card. Oh. We'll see how this unfolds. Then we have, oh, look at that pile number 1. As I said, I would not be shocked if you got the 6 of Cups. We'll look at that right there. We have the 6 of Cups reversed in the heart of the matter. No big shock there. And then we have Justice. Okay. Beautiful. And last but not least, for your tarot spread, we have the 10 of Wands reversed. Also another really fantastic card to get, pile number 1. Okay, that makes 100% sense to me. Let's look at your oracle cards, and then we will weave the reading together. So, from the Wild Harmonic, you received Fire of Spirit, Talismanic Access, and we'll be reading from the guidebook for this one. I always like to do that with that particular deck. Then from the Dream Ritual Oracle, you received Patience. Speaking of like things from the past, I think you've been waiting for this for like a super long time, or as I said before, it might be a dream of sorts that you've had since you were very young, or for like a long like phase of your life. Pile number 1. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Not really a good place to put this Dream Ritual Oracle. It's one of those cards that's like super long, so it's kind of hard to fit, but we'll make sure it fits here. And then last but not least, from the Nature's Whispers deck, you received, Assurance with number 14. And what's interesting about this card that I like to note is the way that it shows the different seasons. We have spring, summer, autumn, and then winter. Like a cycle of some sort. Like, once again, it makes me think like you waited a long time, maybe even like a whole entire year, if not longer, or like years might be the time, what's the word? Like the time frame in terms of how long you've been waiting for this blessing. But it's also with that seasonal or like year association, like a cycle coming to a close, like a resolution to something that you've been being very patient for. Okay, so to begin, I'm going to read from the guidebook from the Wild Harmonic, because I want to see what the association that card has with your interpretation. So Fire of Spirit, let's find it. There we go. Fire of Spirit, Talismanic Access. As the driving wheel ascends into the spirit of creativity, the formation of means comes to be. Tools that liberate, unlocking powers, ingenuity, and clever perspectives that facilitate new abilities. This card reminds me that everything is a permission slip of one kind or another. To create what I want to create, I need to both find/create the right tools and develop the skills to use them. The body gives me the portal through which to experience the earth. The magic wand grants me the ability to cast my spells. Modern vehicles give me teleportation. The telephone gives me telepathy. All are inherent abilities that I find ways of making real via what I have to work with. And the inquiry question is, what do I want to make real, and what tools/circumstances/states of mind will facilitate that happening? Okay, so that's another aspect of this blessing. Pile 1 confirms number 1 that you've been wanting this for a while. I think what might have been the blockage, so to speak, though, of you getting it up until this point is you just didn't have the right tools for what you were looking for. And I do see that with especially the very beginning, you have the Two of Pentacles, pile one. Two of Pentacles reversed tends to represent like something being out of balance, or like it just wasn't kind of like the right time for something, especially when it came to finances, because it is a earth suit card that Pentacles tend to deal with. So I almost wonder if maybe like you lacked the resources for it in terms of money, or it just always felt like it just wasn't the right time to jump on the opportunity, or like the right time never really came forward for this opportunity quite yet. And it's like you've had it in your back pocket. You've been like, I've got this thing I want to do. I've got this thing I really want to come to fruition. But it's like the universe and the stars kept not aligning for some reason. Now I'm going to tell you it's probably divine timing reasons, but let's keep talking with the other cards and, put the whole message together. It seems like divine timing to me. And especially too, next you have the Ace of Swords, pile one, reversed. That also tells me, as the like recent past card, that I almost wonder if maybe you even wavered on the idea, because this Ace of Swords reversed is like either an idea that is like not coming to mind, or an idea that you get but you're like not sure where to direct it and point it. So you have all this energy, you have all this fire creation energy, just like your fire of spirit talked about. You're like, I know what I want to do, I know what this thing needs to be. I don't know where to point this energy. I don't know like where to exactly place it. So it might not just have been lack of resources preventing you from receiving this blessing with this goal that you've had in mind, pile one, but it might have also been direction. Like, well, where do I plant this? It's like having a seed in your hands and being like, okay, what garden do I want to put this in? What feels like the right exact place to put this idea in to let it grow? And then we do have, as I said, would not be shocked if you get the Six of Cups. Look, we have the Six of Cups reversed, tying to that energy of remembrance in the past with Asphodel. And the Six of Cups reversed is a card of negative past energy. Once again, just reconfirming with synchronicity there, pile one, that yes, the past might not have been, up until this point, the best place to plant these seeds. Okay, and I'm kind of drawn to the idea of how these seeds and these flowers were planted in cups. Like you can see there's almost like little daisies. And yes, like you can technically put seeds into a cup, but it's not really like this big thriving garden in order to like have it really spread and grow. I mean, a cup, especially these, they don't even look like they have soil in them. They look like these flowers are maybe just plucked and put there. It's like that wasn't really the best place to even plant it. Maybe even recently you tried to go forth with this idea and you got discouraged because it's like, oh, well, I tried to plant it, but it feels like I didn't maybe put it in the right place. You put it maybe in a cup, so to speak, rather than a big garden, just because that might have been what was available to you and you were kind of excited just to get it going. That might be one potential way that resonates. And two, the Six of Cups reversed can also mean that in the present moment, being the central card, that what is still holding you back with this blessing is needing to resolve some things from the past, but I think you're working through those. Maybe even the thing that you had in mind that you put in your back pocket for a while because just like the right opportunity wasn't coming along is something to do with your past. It might be a goal or a passion that stems from childhood. That's another interpretation of the Six of Cups, or trying to write something from your childhood. That's another way that might represent itself. Maybe even something with family. Six of Cups can mean like siblings sometimes, especially with the traditional interpretation or like the depiction of it. But what Spirit wants to tell you, pile number one, now that we've explained the context, is now you're getting to the point of fruition for this thing. Your patience has been rewarded. So even if you felt like you weren't really making much progress with it, or you always kind of felt like you were disappointing yourself in that you hadn't actually gone forward with this yet, really what Spirit is saying is it's good of you to have not gone forward with it yet, because now you're coming across this period of time, and this is really where the blessing comes in, pile number one, if I had to summarize it in one sentence. You're coming across a garden of sorts, a perfect time to plant this seed where it will become its most abundant. You could have planted it somewhere else, and like I said, maybe you tried that before, hence the Six of Cups reversed wasn't the best place to plant it. Maybe you even felt sort of rejection. Maybe you tried it and it was like, it kind of fell limp, and like, people weren't really into it, or it didn't really get the reception you were looking for. But now this new opportunity is coming, and it's like the right, perfect time for you to bring this thing to its utmost glory and its utmost success. Okay. What's interesting is that also you have the card of assurance. So that's just Spirit saying, we're assuring you the cycle is coming to a close. You're coming to the fruition of this. Okay. We know it might have been many years. Okay, we do have that. But what's also interesting, as I was going to say with the rest of the tarot cards, is you have, and we'll unveil them here in a little bit with a bit of the squishy lack of space we've got here. I'll hold them up. We have the Justice card in the near future and the outcome of the 10 of Wands reversed. So pile number 1, what justice means in this situation with this blessing reading is that, I almost wonder if some of you, the goal might be related to justice of some sort, making sure people get a fair shake or making sure people have like a fair outcome, especially maybe with children. That could be another way that the Six of Cups energy is leading into this. Maybe your project or your goal is something to do with making sure that children have like a fair shake or that children are treated fairly, or like youthful energy things. It might not necessarily be children. It could also be, I'm hearing pets for some of you. I don't know if like it's like a charity with pets or children, something along those lines, or just in general it's like a justice oriented thing, like you want to bring fairness and balance. But then this card is also representative of like, well, now here is your karma, and like here is your good fortune that is like owed to you, or is like just for you to receive because of the patience that you've had and because of you honoring this and not giving up on it despite how long it might have taken for you to bring this to fruition. It's one of those things that's, what's that old phrase? Good things come to those who wait is a really good phrase I like to use in your situation, pile 1, okay? It's that ripple effect, that idea you had so long ago, and then now just like a pebble in the ocean or in a pond, the ripples start coming out, and then you're like, oh, okay, that had an effect that I didn't expect. And that might also bode well for the success of it now that you have like a metaphorical garden to plant the seed in that isn't just a flimsy cup, or is it, hasn't been the right time yet. Now it will be the right time with this blessing, and it will have longer and bigger ripple effects than you're expecting. That could be another way you could interpret this card. And on top of that, look at this beautiful. We have as the final outcome the 10 of Wands, pile number 1. The 10 of Wands reversed especially is a great card to get because what that represents is relieving a burden of some sort, okay? It's almost like having been a mule for something and the pack finally being taken off of your back. So that might be the release of the burden off of you in terms of feeling like, like you're disappointed in that this opportunity hasn't come forward for this goal or idea you have yet, or it could be the relieving of the burden of, maybe even like on a soul level, like a soul purpose. Like you feel that you're very, very, what's the word? Drawn to doing whatever this is, and so far because you haven't been able to accomplish it or bring it forth to fruition, you felt this sense of burden. You're like, oh man, this has been weighing on me. I really want to release this into the world. I really want to, do this thing. But then finally it just takes until this time, and then you get that 10 of Wands reversed energy as the final outcome. And it's like, okay, now I can let this off of my shoulders. I can let my shoulders down. I can breathe a sigh of relief. I put it out there. It finally met solid, fertile ground for this thing to grow. Also, it might be representative, too, of the effect on other people with this. I think some of you, like this goal, it might be representative or related to like relieving burdens for other people, especially where it comes to things that intersect or align with justice. Okay, that's what those two cards can mean together. And I think it will be healing for other people too. Maybe part of this even is helping provide assurance to other people. Maybe it's even in a therapeutic way. Maybe it's also in a way that, I didn't even look at the elemental alignments here. Let's see, we have 1 Pentacles. We have 1 Cups, we have 1 Swords, and we have 1 Wand. So actually all 4 elements are representative here. And then you have Justice, which I always personally associate with air because it makes me think of Libra, right? So we have Justice. So a little bit more air than anything, especially with Justice and the Swords. But a good balance of all the other elements. So it's like bringing people back to balance as well, but then also yourself. And then 2, even Justice literally means balance. I just realized that, duh. So that's another synchronicity there. And then, let's see what else. Yeah, especially with air. Okay. And then as to top off the reading, or end the reading pile number 1, I do want to draw just 3 more cards on like how this will come about too with this blessing, because we've kind of seen like the where it's coming from, the context, and the what, but not so much of the when or the why. So let's ask that. Spirit, for pile number 1, can you give me 3 more cards about how this blessing comes about? Thank you. 2 or 3 cards actually. So this one is like pick me, sticking out. We have the 7 of Pentacles. Once again, we have that seed metaphor, because the 7 of Pentacles is a card pile number 1 of like having planted seeds and like working really hard for them to grow in the future. So that's just a reconfirmation you've been working on this for a while. So number 1, the vehicle of delivery is something that you already planted that's coming to fruition, just like this very cute pumpkin, right? This card also wants to pop out. We have the Tower reversed, avoiding a disaster. Avoiding a disaster. I'm going to grab the 3rd card before I speak on that one because I'm curious. And then we have this one, feeling drawn. The 5 of Swords with conflict. You know, it's interesting. Something about this opportunity pile 1 comes out of a really odd, out of left field place. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a leg cramp. Ooh, I'm going to try not to grimace here. Hey, maybe that's symbolism. Hey, it feels like, because I was just going to get into that with the, like it coming from an odd place, because these are technically traditionally like negative cards, pile 1, and then of course then I just got a leg cramp and I'm like, oh, that's uncomfortable. So it almost might even come out of someplace uncomfortable, and I know it sounds weird, but just hear me out. So it's like, yeah, the Tower reversed is avoiding a disaster, and the 5 of Swords is conflict, verbal battle. You've had to fight for it, I'll tell you that. It's like a situation that you've worked really hard on. We've discussed that. You know, pile 1, have any of you come out of a really rough time recently? And you've had to defend yourself a lot? I think there's something related to that, if that resonates. That's where this opportunity is coming from. It's something related to how you've been struggling recently and avoiding like worst case scenarios or avoiding disasters, and where you've had conflict. But then the ironic thing is that out of that darkness comes this light of opportunity. So it's weird. It's almost like the vehicle of delivery for this blessing comes out of an uncomfortable place. But then it's a blessing in disguise because it brings about the way that you can find that metaphorical garden to plant the seed, which is once again reiterated by the 7 of Pentacles. So it's a seed planted outside of, or out because of, a disaster avoided in conflict. It's something along those lines. That might apply very differently for every single one of you, but just be rest assured, pile 1, that there's something along those lines that has this blessing appearing out of that you're not expecting. Like how? Okay, so look at uncomfortable situations in your life right now, or situations where you feel like you've had to kind of dodge worst case scenarios and conflicts. And that's where the garden is for you to make this idea come and grow in a way that's like a blessing. It's just like the very perfect spot. It's like the Goldilocks zone of places to plant your ideas, because it's just right. Not too hot, not too cold. What an interesting vehicle of delivery here, pile number 1. I'm curious. Feel free to weigh down in the comments down below if some of you are already recognizing what this means. Because as a tarot reader, I'm like, well, wait a minute. How does this come out of like a disaster avoided in conflict? But then I think once again, too, of the metaphor of how, like, you know how after wildfires, the ground becomes very fertile because of all the, like, the ashes and the nutrients that are from the old forest that was there before? That's kind of what I'm seeing here. It's like a wildfire sweeps through, or it's like you guys recently have gone through a time of wildfire. But then after the wildfire is done, you have this fertile place of, okay, yeah, this this situation occurred that wasn't very comfortable. It's like a leg cramp, speaking of. It was kind of a pain, but at the same time, look at what opportunity it provided me, because it cleared space and brought forth like a very good area of like fertility for what I want to grow. Something along those lines. Yeah, let me know in the comments. I'm curious. And thank you, should you choose to do so, because I want to know if you guys are like, oh, I know what that is. Okay, so that's your blessing reading for today, my wonderful pile number 1. I'm going to say my usual little spiel at the end. If you liked the reading, if it helped you, number 1, that's what I care about most. Please like, comment, subscribe, etc. You know the drill. And as is our tradition, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading, pile 1. Bye. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 2. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about the next big blessing coming your way. And of course, as you recall, you were drawn to the gorgeous cherry card as your pile leader number 7. So as we always do with our pile leaders, we will respectfully put them over by the pine cone to the left. And let's begin the reading by drawing your tarot spread and oracle cards. So of course, calling on Spirit today for our wonderful pile 2. For their highest, best good, can you tell us more about the blessing coming their way that you want them to know about? Thank you. So I am actually feeling drawn to this one right here for the first card. It's quite prominently poking my palm. I'm like, you know, we're going to pick that one. Okay. And I'm feeling called to draw from there. Beautiful. There are your tarot cards, and then we will have the wild harmonic, and we're actually going to read from the guidebook for this one today. One of the few decks I do always read from the guidebook with, because number 1, I just love that guidebook in general, but it's a very complex system oracle deck, so I like to respect that by making sure I interpret it correctly. And then we have the Dream Ritual Oracle. And pile number 2, I forgot to mention, when I was meditating on your pile leader card a bit before hitting record, the main thing that came forward was the ephemerality of the cherry tree. We always associate cherries with spring, of course, with their beautiful early blossoms, but at the same time, too, those blossoms don't last very long. So what I mean when I bring that up in terms of your reading is I feel like this blessing is kind of unexpected, and it might be a short-lived one, but it's still a very beneficial blessing. It's something that you also might not expect because of how suddenly it comes up. But it does mean that I think you have been working on it, though, despite you not expecting it. But it's something that you're not expecting. It might even be like a side result of something that you're working on, but it's like a side blessing in terms of it's not the main thing that you've been working for that you're hoping for, if that makes sense. But let's look at your other cards to clarify for sure. But that was intuitively what I was feeling drawn to, so I just wanted to mention it. Now, with your tarot spread today, we have the Explorer of Wands, which is in most decks I believe the Knight of Wands. That's what it is. Very cute salamander. Yeah, something you're passionate about, especially with that fire energy. Then we have the Four of Pentacles, a little bit of earth energy. Reserving a resource of some sort, holding on to something. Fire, and then the pine cones, and then the middle card. Ooh, very beautiful. We have the moon, illusions. Things not being what they seem. Okay, so I think that might be a bit of a sniff on the trail of what I was just talking about. It's like you are working towards something that you've been very productive with, pile number 2. But then this blessing comes out of left field because it's an illusion of you not really having expected it. It's like there's like a main goal that you're working towards, but then it's secretly within, the machinery of the universe, so to speak, and the things happening behind the scenes. there's this other thing that technically comes along that you've been working on that you didn't really even know about. I think that's where this blessing is coming from. Then we have the Child or the Page of Pentacles. Lots of Pentacles energy. Could be related to career or finances because of the Abundance of Pentacles cards, but we'll see what the last one is. Ooh, and then we have the Knight of Cups reversed, or Explorer. Interesting as the outcome. Yes, but I am drawn especially to the illusions of the moon. Not what it seems. It's a big theme coming forward for your reading today. Now let's look at your oracle cards. We'll interpret your tarot in a bit. First up, we have the Dream Ritual Oracle with transition. Something moving from one phase into another. Maybe a move of some sort. And then 2, we have the full moon, which is like coming to fruition. Something at its fullest or most powerful. Then from the Wild Harmonics, we have... Oh, this is the one that does not have any elements. It's Presence of Absence. Really curious to see what the guidebook will say on that one. We'll read that in a moment. But then let's reveal your last oracle card. We have the Nature's Whispers Oracle with Let Love Be Your Beacon, number 42. Let's see, what animals are those? They look like rabbits, perhaps, on the side. Or squirrels? These are squirrels. These are rabbits over here. She got tiger lilies in her hair and moths drawn to the light. Lots of like moon imagery too. Okay, let's read that guidebook there. So we have Presence of Absence from the Wild Harmonic. I think that might be in the very beginning or the very end. So forgive me if it takes me a second to find it. What do we got here? Yeah, it must be at the end. Oh, yep, I was right. Presence of Absence. Something of nothing, nothing of something. As the all that is abides in the all that is not, as the infinite no-thing permeates the infinite thinging. What a sentence. Movement and what we call change is perpetual. As illustrated well in the game of chess, it is not simply where things are that may create my circumstances, but where things are not as well. This card invites me to feel into what is known and what is unknown. See, that's that illusion thing I was talking about. Like, it's like you're not sure, you don't see it coming. The unknown. What is felt and unfelt, and what I am aware of and what I'm not aware of. It is all at once a call for the return to simplicity and at the same time an embrace of complexity. There are many Joker cards in life, and when I draw one, all bets are off. This card indicates not only a time where I will need to be clever, but a time when cleverness is truly at my disposal, if I will but learn to see where it is not. And the question says, what part of my life can I affect indirectly for better results? Okay, this is really cool, pile 2, because you remember I was just saying it's like you've been working towards a goal, but this blessing is coming out of something that you didn't expect. That is like a side, it's almost like a side quest, to use a video game term, a side quest that you didn't even know that you were embarking on. Just like this question asks, it's like, what part of my life can I affect indirectly for better results? So you haven't been actively working on this. I can guarantee you that, pile 2. At least in a way that you were consciously like, yes, I want this thing, and then here comes this blessing out of this conscious thing that I asked the universe, give it to me, right? This is out of left field. You didn't expect it. It's a complete illusion, like the moon says, okay? And then, too, as I said with the cherry card in the very beginning, it's this, the short-lived but prosperous element, too. Like, it's like this... So I don't think it's like a very, like, long-lived blessing, but that doesn't mean that it has a small impact, okay? And then let's look at your other cards. Yes, transition, we talked about let love be your beacon. And then the tarot spread is what really makes me interested. Especially because we do see that element of you being passionate about it with the Explorer Knight of Wands as the inciting incident, as I call the first card. And what that means is like an action that is taken out of our fire energy, meaning our creativity, our willpower, our... confidence, our charisma is like other words you would use with the fire element in tarot. You're like, I want this thing. I'm creative. I'm passionate about it. And then we have an interesting earth element kick in here with the Four of Pentacles in the recent past. And the Four of Pentacles is about like holding on to things, pile number 2. It's about holding on to our resources. It's about conserving our energy. And so I think that's that element of this blessing that has been waiting in the wings. Okay. And I think it's it's coming out of something that you've been reserving resources on, or you've been reserving your energy on. Like maybe you were planning to do it later, so that's why you were holding on to it. But then at the same time, it's like the universe comes forward and is like, well, actually, that thing you thought you were going to work on later and get that blessing out of it, out of this productivity, you know, poof, actually it comes earlier when you didn't even have to work on it yet. Okay. And then, yeah, we have that element of illusions with the moon. It's the heart of the matter. Something is not what it seems. Okay. And I think sometimes pile number 2, that's kind of the best blessing in life, is the ones we don't expect. It's kind of like a surprise gift from the universe, little pop of confetti, if you will. And then in the future, we have, most excitingly, the Child or the Page of Pentacles. I'm going to unveil them a bit here, because they're kind of hidden by all the other cards. It's my limited space I've got on my desk here. And then, okay, Page of Pentacles was first. So the Page of Pentacles, or Child of Pentacles, is someone that has found a new opportunity, hence the coin in the paws of the bear, and is like, oh, what do I do with this? So I think the blessing is something that's going to give you an opportunity for something, okay? Or it's a resource of some sort that you find just kind of sitting in the grass, and you're like, oh, well, what's this thing that I didn't expect? The side quest that I embarked on, I didn't even know I was completing. And you grab it and you're like, oh, okay, well, what can I do with this? So you're entering a time of exploration with this opportunity pile number 2, where you have, abundance, resources, etc., to actually explore this brand new open thing to you. I almost wonder too with transition if some of you might even be moving into like a whole new field, hence, excuse the pun, but literally the bear is sitting in a field pile too, like a whole new field of some sort. That, and especially if this is job related pile too, it could be that you were gaining skills from a previous job that you didn't know would make you like the perfect fit for a better job, and then the opportunity comes along and you're like, oh my god, look at that, that's wonderful. So that's what I mean by like side quests. That could be one way that it resonates. Others of you might not be job related, but something along those lines as an example. And then what's interesting is we have the Explorer or the Knight of Cups reversed at the end. And in a blessing reading, a future prediction is, when it's reversed, is something that is out of balance now that will right itself, hence, because, it's like a blessing reading. And so I think right now where you are, this is another hint as to what the blessing is. You're not necessarily following your heart on something, because what a Knight of Cups does, pile 2, is someone who takes action with their heart and their feelings and their intuition, and also sometimes with relationships, okay? Because the water suit is also the suit of relationships in tarot. And so it's like you get this coin, you get the material resources for this thing, you find it, not expecting it, and then you're like, oh, actually, maybe I can follow my heart more with this new path that comes about. So I almost think for a lot of you, the blessing that you're not expecting is a new path. And then too, especially next to the Knight of Cups reverse being next to your Nature's Whispers. Let's look at that a bit closer again. Number 42, let love be your beacon. It's like something that you actually love to do, or like you love maybe more than the quote-unquote main quest that you've been on. And like that's the new path you're able to follow, is your heart, just like a Knight of Cups would, or like this card says, you follow your heart rather than like the path that you were on before that maybe wasn't as aligned with your heart. Now, I did say before there might be a sense of ephemerality to it, especially with the meaning of the cherry blossoms. So I think reinterpreting that now that I have the greater context pile 2, I almost wonder if the ephemerality is not so much that the blessing is short-lived, but that there's a short window for you to take advantage of this new opportunity with this blessing. Okay, so when this comes up, do note that it might be, you might not have all the time in the world to decide to take action with it. Okay, so that might just be a tiny little piece of advice with this blessing reading. Because, as we know, cherry blossoms are very beautiful, but they don't bloom for that very long. They're very ephemeral is the word we were using, okay? And also, with the presence of absence, it did mention chess. So it might be kind of a strategic move, too. We always associate chess with, logical decision-making and with being strategic about things. Okay, and a transition to something better. Trying to see if there's any other symbolic synchronicities here. We do, like I said, the moon. Full moon specifically, bringing things to fruition. And let's look at your elemental associations here. So we've got 2 pentacles, pile number 2, as I said before. That might indicate that for a lot of you, this is related to job or career or resources of some sort. The moon itself, I always personally associate it with water. And then you do have a cups as well. So it's like your feelings, your heart, your emotions, your intuition, as I said, as well as relationships. We described that earlier. And then you have a little bit of fire energy too. So it is an intersection of where the material meets the emotional with a little bit of passion driving behind it is how I would describe those elemental associations. Okay. Interesting. And I'm trying to think of a final question to ask for your reading. Let's see. If I were in your position, pile 2, what would I want to know most with this? You know, I'm going to ask what this opportunity is going to bring you. Because that's really the nitty-gritty of what the true blessing in the end is. Spirit, can you tell us a little bit more for pile 2? In the end, should they choose to pursue this short window of opportunity that they didn't expect, this little side quest that comes out, what are the blessings coming from that path, should they choose to take it in that short window? Oh, that one for sure. Ooh, the 8 of Cups. And we have the moon again. This time it looks like I believe that's a waxing crescent. 8 of Cups. Emotionally moving on from something. Oh boy. Especially with all the cups we've had so far. And then, feeling drawn to this one, we'll pick that 2 of Wands reversed. And in a blessing reading, I read reversals a bit different. So 2 Wands reversed in this situation would be like you being able to make plans that you weren't able to make before. And then let's look at your last card. We have the Star reversed. Gorgeous. I love that Star card. All right, Star reversed would be in this situation, a situation where... I just said situation twice, forgive me. In this situation, it would be a situation where ... Anyways, clumsy wording aside, would be I'm not going to use the word situation. Anyways, maybe there's a reason that keeps being emphasized, a situation. Anyways, my blathering aside, a place where you lacked hope or faith in this thing, but then the opportunity, the short window of what's being available to you or becoming available to you opens up, and you're like, oh, now I have hope or faith that I could do this thing. And it's some sort of mechanism of being able to emotionally move on from something to better pastures here, especially with the 8 of Cups, and being able to make plans that you didn't feel you could make before. So, you know, some of you, I almost wonder if you had maybe considered this option at an earlier point in your life, but then you thought, well, that's not available to me, so I'll keep going on the path that I'm on. But then all of a sudden, like a lightning strike, out of the freaking blue, this window pops up and you're like, oh, well, wait a minute. Now, that thing that I couldn't make plans for before, now I can. Now I can go forth on that path, like the 8 of Cups, to a better place emotionally. And now my hope and my faith with the Star is reinvigorated in what I can do with this. It's like the right opportunity at the exact right time. And that's why it wasn't available before pile 2, but now it is. I also see it's something that will reinvigorate your hope for the future. That could be another way that I see the 2 of Wands reversed next to a Star reversed in this reading. Reinvigorating your hope for the future, hence the Star and the Wands. Okay. Beautiful. So as much as it is a blessing in terms of like a physical opportunity, pile 2, it also is a blessing in terms of your heart, because it's like a pathway finally opening up to you to finally follow your heart rather than following just material needs. I think that's why for a lot of you it might be career related, but in either case though, follow your heart when that time comes, when that short window of opportunity opens up. Okay, pile number 2, and I think you'll be very generously rewarded by the universe. Yeah, I don't know why I kept repeating situation. I feel like there might be a message even in that. I'm going to draw one more card on that. I know it sounds weird, pile number 2, but I'm feeling drawn to that. So, Spirit, why Did you keep emphasizing the word situation with me repeating it like a million times? Situation. One card, maybe. Okay, that one already is like poking my palm. We're going to take it. Ooh, the Ace of Wands reversed. A spark. Look at all these dark cards, too. It's like a light in the darkness, just like the star, the spark with the Ace of Wands, the moon, and the Eight of Cups. And then you even see in the Two of Wands here a transition from like light to darkness, or like darkness to light, vice versa. So I kept saying situation because of the Ace of Wands reversed. It was a message regarding, well, that really what the Ace of Wands, or that really is what the Ace of Wands is an opportunity. Like reversed, it would be, in a blessing reading, would be something with an opportunity or a new spark in something that you're passionate about, hence the fire association with the wands. It's a situation with a spark. And it just lights up the dark. I mean, look at all these cards about lighting up the dark, pile number 2. It's like where you've been has been kind of dark spiritually, or not like, not like in terms of like you're living a bad life necessarily, pile 2, or like, but where you're going or this opportunity brings you someplace that's lighter spiritually, I want to say too. More aligned with who you really are is how I would phrase that. A situation that brings a spark. Very interesting. Well, that's your reading for today, my wonderful pile number 2. I hope, number 1, that you liked it and that it helped you. That's what I care about the most. I'm just going to say my usual little YouTube spiel here. You know the drill. If you did like it, if it did help you, please like, comment, subscribe, etc. You know the drill. And as we always say in our tradition, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, pile number 2. Please take advantage of this opportunity when it comes. It looks like very good things for you, okay? And I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 3. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about the next big blessing coming your way. And of course, as you recall, you were drawn to Ivy number 35 as your pile leader. Very, very beautiful plant. Kind of understated though. It's one of those things that blends in. It's not like a very showy plant. But it is, despite that, a tough plant. We always think of ivy as being, well, you know how the way it grows, pile number 3. Kind of curls, finds the next thing to climb onto, keeps going. So I mention that because I feel intuitively that this blessing coming forward for you is something that kind of has been slowly wending its way towards you as ivy grows. Getting some other messages in, but I'm going to draw the rest of your cards before I speak on them because I just want to make sure with synchronicities and whatnot that I am picking up on the right thing. So we'll put Ivy over here to the left next to the pine cone, as we do with pile leaders. Let's first draw your tarot spread, calling on spirit today for my wonderful pile 3. Please guide us to the right cards to explain their blessing. Thank you. Okay, I already am going to choose this one because it was sticking out quite prominently. Thank you, Spirit. And this one, too. Actually, I'm going to draw this one as well. And this one. Oh my, look at all these ones sticking out. And then I'm going to cut the deck for this one. Okay, there we go. And there is number 5. Thank you, Spirit, for your guidance. And then let's draw your oracle cards. So we're actually using 3 different oracle cards today, pile 3. We're using the Wild Harmonics, which I'm going to read from the guidebook for. I always do with that particular deck because of the beauty of the depth of the guidebook. And I'm feeling this one for you, pile 3. Then we have the Dream Ritual Oracle. Okay, there is your Dream Ritual card, and last but not least, Nature's Whispers. Still thinking about the nature of ivy, pile 3. I also think it could be something that you feel like you've made no progress on, but then all of a sudden, out of the blue, this blessing comes forward and you're like, oh, that made a lot more progress than I expected it to. That's just like the main phrase that keeps popping forward, pile 3, is unexpected. It's like an unexpected blessing of some sort. Okay, so to begin, let us look at your tarot cards. Actually, I'm going to put your oracle ones up here. So, number 1 up to bat. Ooh, the Magician, manifestation. All the resources we need to bring something to fruition. As you can see, there's a sword, pentacle, cup, and a wand. Beautiful. Wonderful sign. Then we have the 3 of Pentacles with some teamwork, like the roots of the birch intertwining, providing stability to one another in the ecosystem of the forest. Then we have the 10 of Pentacles reversed. Another tree metaphor here, but this one is more about legacy or things passed down. Then we've got the Star reversed. Okay, Major Arcana, second one of the reading. And last but not least, another Major Arcana, but we have the Emperor reversed. And I read reversals, pile 3, in a blessing reading as things that are like going to turn around, especially with the future cards. But before I interpret everything, let's look at your oracle cards, and then we'll read from the guidebook for the Wild Harmonic. So speaking of, we have Fire of Dimensional Self-Creating. So 2 hands holding a brush, creating one another. A little bit of an Ouroboros type of meaning there. Then we have flow. Flow. Something flowing. Bit of a mystery with this particular reading. Then your Nature's Whispers is be your best self always, with number 24. She's riding on a seahorse looking at the surface of the water. Leaving, I'm really drawn to the way that it's like she's leaving something behind. That she's not looking at the way that her presence affects the water of the surface behind her. So some of the blessing might be you're affecting something more positively than you expected. Maybe that's kind of the slow progress that we've been seeing with the meaning of the ivy. Okay. So as I promised, let's look at the Wild Harmonic guidebook. We have Fire of Dimensional. So, I just passed it. There we go. Self-creating. As the driving will ascends into the dimensional expanse, a recognition of the inherent will within every point of creation emerges. Creating my own reality, creating myself, and taking responsibility for my circumstances. A card of total creativity. The more responsibility I can take on a perspective level, the more I align with the power to make the changes I prefer. In this moment, this one that always is, all things arise of their own inherent creativity. Everything is made of creation and therefore equally empowered and involved in the arising into this being that is the dynamic, magical play of life. So the inquiry or question to ask yourself is, what responsibility for my creation am I avoiding? Let me think about that for just a moment, pile 3. A recognition of the inherent will within every point of creation emerges. What responsibility for my creation am I avoiding? Yeah, it's like a self-creating, you kind of remind me of pile 2 today, pile 3. This blessing is coming out of something that you didn't expect. It's unexpected, as I mentioned before. And with ivy, the meaning, as I said, is like something that's been slow growing and it's kind of understated. You don't necessarily, notice ivy as a plant because it's not really big and showy. I mean, like, it doesn't really have big flowers in your face like other plants do. Oh God, you remind me of pile 2 today. I almost want to say that, and I'll use the same metaphor I used for pile 2. This blessing is coming out of something that you already did that was kind of like a side quest to the main quest of what you were actually trying to achieve, to use like a video game term. Like, if you've ever played a video game, pile 3, where you went on like a main quest, but then you picked up an item that kind of was odd, and you're like, well, what is this for? But you kept it in your inventory in the game, and then later you found out, oh, that item actually goes and is a plays a part in this side quest that I didn't know at the time. That's what I'm feeling, to use a video game metaphor. You're just like pile 2 that way. Maybe if you were drawn to pile 2, you might like watching that reading as well. But, you know, long story short, pile number 3, it's like you, through your slow progress through life on different goals, this blessing is erupting out of that unexpectedly as this side quest reward for a side quest you didn't even know that you were on. And once again, too, like with the Nature's Whispers card, it's this effect that you've had on things in the past behind you that you didn't even look back at, that you didn't recognize, that I think now you're getting a window of opportunity to look at and be like, oh, that's what that effect had. And then flow is another thing that not just because of your flow card. I mean, you know, duh, it says flow, but but flow is another thing that is emerging as a very prominent theme in this reading too. Not just, you know, that card, like I said, but like the flow of like her hair behind her in the Be Your Best Self, always the flow of, you know, the hands painting one another. But then also too, when you think about the way that ivy grows, it flows. It goes where it can grab onto next because it's like a vine. Okay. It's easy. In terms of the blessing, it flows naturally, just like that side quest metaphor of you didn't even know you were doing it. Just this blessing comes out of, you know, flows naturally. Now your tarot cards are where this gets really interesting. We have, yes, the Magician, the 3 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles reversed, the Star reversed, and I'm actually going to just set your oracle cards a little bit off to the side. Forgive me if they cut off, but you can always look at them closer reversed in the video if you'd like to. Yes, 10 of Pentacles reversed, Star reversed, and the Emperor reversed. I do also think, pile 3, that this is a pivotal moment in your life because of the abundance of major arcana that you have. You have the Magician, Star, and the Emperor. And we do see that element here of you trying to bring something about with the Magician as the inciting incident, because a Magician card, pile 3, describes a situation where we've been trying to manifest something. And it's also at that time of, like, finally all of these resources align for this thing that we're trying to come bring to fruition. Okay. But as I said, I don't think that was it was the inciting incident of this blessing, but it wasn't your main goal. And 2, with the 3 of Pentacles as the recent past influence, that is the card of teamwork, just as I said, with the roots from the birch trees intertwining and kind of helping and bring stability to each other. Just like this card with the Nature's Whispers here, it was like something affecting in the past that was left a more positive trace than you expected. That flowed just naturally from everything else that you were doing. You know, I almost wonder, pile 3 too, if this blessing is coming from other people that you helped in the past. Especially too, because you have the heart of the matter is the 10 of Pentacles reversed. Now, a 10 of Pentacles card, typically the keywords with that are like legacy and inheritance, something that's been passed down, or something that naturally follows after something else, okay, in terms of, you know, like passing something down. But I don't really see this as like an inheritance card necessarily for you. I see that as, well, it is inheritance, but it's inheritance in the way of a natural passing down of something because of something that you did in the past with other people in teamwork there with the 3 of Pentacles. And then when we look at your future cards, you have the Star reversed and the Emperor card reversed here. I'll unveil that again. And I read reversals in future positions with blessing readings as the things that are going to turn around in a positive way. So the Star reversed in this situation represent a blessing coming forward of reinvigorating your hope or your faith in something. And then on top of that, with the Emperor reversed, it's this blessing of greater structure to your life, because the Emperor is the card of masculine energy, which, you know, in tarot at least represents like logic, power and authority, like structure to things. Okay, it's about like the physical or the material a little bit more than the intangible because of its masculine energy. And 2, with this particular interpretation of the Emperor, and this is why I love the Spacious Tarot for a million reasons, but it's like the tall poppy on the hill, like a leadership type of card too. Like you're the tall poppy now. compared to the other poppies that are growing in the field. Okay, so I think, too, it might be a blessing that brings about an opportunity for leadership and greater structure and, like, your hope or your faith in something. So I don't know if recently, Pile 3, you've been feeling, like, a lack of hope or faith in things. Like, I almost get the sense of you feeling like, I've done so much good. I've worked so hard. But it feels like the universe never throws me a bone or pays me back in a positive way for everything that I've done that has been out of goodwill and for the greatness of others or, like, the benefit of others and supporting others. Like, that's another energy I'm feeling off of you, Pile 3, is I feel like you're very supportive of other people, but I feel like you don't often get support from other people in return. This is where that blessing is coming in. Because of what you did in the past, you didn't even know you were racking up this positive karma. You just did it out of inherent, well, I'm a good person, so I'm going to do these good things for other people. Like that Three of Pentacles energy. That is coming back around to pay you tenfold. Yeah, speaking of tenfold, Ten of Pentacles, I just realized, that's funny. Coming back around to pay you tenfold for what you have done for others. Now, some of you that might manifest in a literal someone from your past or people from your past giving you a blessing that you didn't expect. Some of you, it might be like a more intangible way that people from the past that you've help you. Like, for an example, like, say, you used to work really hard on volunteering for a certain purpose. Like, I don't know, volunteering at a cat shelter. I think of cats because, I have cats. I'm biased. I love them. I love all animals, of course, but we'll just use cats as the example. Okay, so say you volunteered at, like, a cat shelter, and you did get, like, the inherent feeling of, oh, I'm doing something really good for animals that I love. I'm giving them care that they don't have, right now just because they're not adopted out yet to a loving family, etc. I'm making sure that they're off of the street. I'm making sure that they're not being, killed mercilessly just because, they, well, you know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, sometimes with animals, if there's too many of them, it depends on the shelter. There's no kill shelter, but you know what I mean? All in all, using, examples aside, you did something very good. And yes, there was the initial benefit of, like, oh, I feel good. And these animals benefited from my volunteering. But it's like, it didn't necessarily seem to pay off more than that. And not that you wanted it to pay off more than that, because I get the feeling, because of your inherent good soul, Pile 3, that's just the satisfaction of helping others made you happy. But this is how it might come about intangibly. Like, say you volunteered at that cat shelter and all of a sudden, like, you get, like, say you've been looking for a job and then someone that worked at that cat shelter with you is like, hey, an opening came up, and they trust you because they're like, oh, I've seen Pile 3 work at this cat shelter before. I know that they do good work. I know they're a good person, etc. So then it's like, in that case, the blessing unexpectedly would be like a job offering because of volunteering you did in the past. You know what I mean? So it might not be that exact example, Pile 3, but just to use that as, a structure for, like, the overall how this might resonate with, as a general reading, is you did good in the past to help others. It created a legacy that you didn't expect and affected people in the way you didn't expect. And there's this ripple effect of, it opens up this door for this new opportunity or blessing coming to you that helps bring you not only to a path of reinvigorated hope or faith in things, maybe even in hope or faith that, doing good does pay, because I feel like sometimes people get jaded because they're like, like, people are like, oh, well, if you're just a good person, you get taken advantage of, or people get jaded when they say things like, I've been a good person all my life, and I feel like, like, oh, people just take advantage of me, or, people, like, walk all over nice people, like that kind of, sort of bitter energy. You know what I mean? Pile 3. So maybe you've been kind of sitting in bitter energy like that for a while. And, very understandably so if you have had, like, a lot of negative experiences. I'm not downplaying that. But it's like, all of a sudden with that star energy, it's like, oh, okay, good things do happen to good people again. It's that reinvigoration of that hope and that faith, and that leadership opportunity, too, with that Emperor reversed as part of your blessing, okay? And, I haven't even talked about your be your best self always, other than the symbolism of it. Be your best self always, Pile number 3, as we know, means probably a chance to be your best self. An opportunity for something that not only honors your best self that you were in the past by helping other people or animals or whatever it might have been, but maybe a chance to keep doing that even more. say if it was like a job opportunity for, hey, we need an accountant for our cat shelter. Or, hey, we need this type of role for this particular organization that you volunteered for, or whatever it might be. It might not be volunteering, but you get the gist, pile number 3, in terms of the example, right? Beautiful. And I think to cap off the reading, I do want to do one final little 3 tarot card spread. If I were you right now, let's see, if I were in your shoes, pile 3, what's the main question I'd want a tarot reader to answer? Let's think. I think I want to know more about the vehicle in which this is delivered. Like, how does it come about? Because we talked about the what, but we haven't talked about so much about the when and how, other than maybe it's something from your past. Okay, let's ask that. Okay, this card is surely poking out, so I'm going to take it. It's like stabbing into my palm. I'm like, yes, I'll take it. Ooh, 4 of Wands reversed. And this card was quite prominent. Ooh, the Sun. Beautiful. How does this come about? And more about how does it come to fruition. Okay. And the 4 of Swords. 2 4s. 4 represents stability, so I think it'll... Also, the Emperor was number 4. Forgive me, I forgot to mention that. So you have 3 4s now. So 4 is the number of stability. Okay, so I think it brings you greater stability, whatever this blessing is. Especially with the home. That's what the 4 of Wands can represent, is stability in the home. And then 2, the 4 of Wands can also be a card of celebration. I think you might be celebrated for something. I almost wonder if some of you might get like an award or like a public acknowledgement for what you've done. So especially for those of you that have done work that might be public or recognized, the blessing might be that you're getting that public recognition for what you've been doing. Okay. And then 2, even like the Sun too, is like something being brought to light, something being like a light is shed upon it. So some of you, once again, that reiterates maybe you're being like publicly acknowledged for this. But then the Sun is also joy and happiness, okay? So it's 2, emphasizing like the joy and the happiness that you brought to others. But also, it's like it's shedding a light on something you didn't notice before. And once again, I think it might be an opportunity for some of you. And then we have the 4 of Swords, which is the card of rest. So it might also give you like a time of rest, but like... Once again, it's that unexpected. Like, you're not expecting it because you're, like, at rest for something. Like, maybe you don't do that particular volunteering or that whatever that thing is anymore, and so you thought, oh, there's no way that that's going to come back, and, like, that. Like, you feel like that chapter of your life is closed, but then it comes back to you in some way. Like the rest here with the 4 of Swords. Okay. Interesting. But it comes so easily, pile number 3. You do not have to work for this blessing whatsoever. Or, like, you did, but in the past. So from this point forward, you don't really have to work for it. It's one of those unexpected blessings that kind of just lands in your lap that you didn't know was coming. And also just beautiful energy overall, pile number 3. Very good souls, I can tell you that. And I think, too, the reason why this blessing is coming forward for you from the universe is because it wants to reinvigorate your hope and faith that doing good begets good. Okay. I mean, not in the way of, like selfishness of like, oh, I do good things so I get good reward. Not that, but sometimes if we feel like we've been punished for the good things that we've done, or we feel like, our good things that we've done haven't been appreciated enough, we can get that jadedness I mentioned before. But this is like the universe saying, well, wait a minute. Sometimes the good things you've done have effects that you didn't expect. Some of you, it might even be that you're getting news that someone or something that you helped in the past succeeded in a way that you didn't expect. But they only succeeded, or that thing only succeeded because you did that good deed in the first place. So it's also a blessing, I think, for some of you of good news. Hence, like the light of the sun, too. Beautiful. Okay, well, that was your reading for today, your blessing reading, pile number 3. I hope, of course, most of all, that it helped you and you liked it. So if it did help you, you liked it, etc., here's my usual YouTube spiel. You know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And as is our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Wonderful soul, who obviously is a very good person, I can tell that. And I hope to see you in the next reading. by pile 3.